Ruslan. 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 Ruslan.
I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? Death to life. Death to life. He did it. Death to life. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? Apply pressure, but I'm not trying to force it. Down bad before Mimi and mine's courtship. Circling the sun, that's a different type of orbit. Then I fell on my face, but it must have been the Lord's gift. After that, I went from death to life. Only one time he ever said to test him right. The best replies to testify. He conquered it all. He conquered my fall in his presence. Why? I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? Death to life. Death to life. He did it. Death to life. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? John 5:24 and it reads, I tell you the truth, whoever listens and believes in God who sent Christ will have eternal life. No condemnation, they cross from death to life. No life to death, no walking dead. I'd rather walk the talk and shine my light instead. Who can ideate the darkest Friday would have transformed to this new life inside me, cause Sunday came. I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? Death to life. To life. To life. To life. To life. Death to life. To life. To life. Death to life. Death to life. 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 Death to life. To life.
After the incredible success of our Bless God prayer journal, many of you guys began to ask for something that had a planner. And so we combined our Bless God prayer journal with a brand new leadership planner that jam-packs the same things from our prayer journal with a planner, goal setting, leadership meeting, and notes. With the next pages, you can see different sections right along here of this leadership planner where you can start out with actionable goals, 12 months of calendar, our original prayer journal prompts, our leadership journal with the proven problem solution framework, and of course, just free write notes. This leadership planner is based off of Matthew 25:14-30, which of course is the parable of the talents. The vision of the planner is to help you make the most of your time, talent, and treasure. Head over to blessgod.shop and get yours today. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.
Ruslan.
Wanna come around and do the most, flexing for the girl.
You see, this day they watch sunsets, no doubt, on a display in their hand. It stays out like a wrist chain, but this one is for clout. You got this stain, well this chain gang's no slouch. I said dopamine, I need them to notice me every moment, just like Jodeci. Open me up, see the spark is emotionally draining and engaging at the same time. Being so manipulated by the AI, algorithms at play, so I stay high. Yo, they always listen in, but the true play is to make me my own God in a new way.
Ruslan.
We are live! Hey yo, before
before you come in, take your shoes off. Get your super chats ready. Your questions are getting answered live. But first, shout out to the patrons and the channel members. Check it out. Never miss the after party again. Sign up right now on Patreon for as little as $5 a month and access every replay. Put it in the budget. I'm telling you, we are essential. Y'all already know what time it is. Welcome to the after party with Ruslan.
Ruslan.
And gentlemen, it is that time. We're live. And I need you, yes you, to drop your location in the chat. I need you, yes you, to let me know where you're watching this at. We got the premium partners on Patreon. We got the mods, and we got you all the way from Spokane, Washington, Ghana, Lubbock, Texas, Sarasota, Florida, SoCal, Dallas, Middle Tennessee, Lake Stevens, Washington, Missouri, Lancaster, Houston, Texas, Las Cruces, Tacoma, Washington, San Marcos, White Pigeon, Mississippi, Arizona, Hartsville, South Carolina, Beijing, Middletown, Ohio, Thousand Oaks, Anaheim, SoCal, Knoxville, Maryland, Camden, Canada, Tampa, London, Arizona, Phoenix, San Antonio, Jacksonville, Florida, Israel, Woodside, California. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Miami, Arkansas, Wales. That's at least 3 continents I see. Africa, North America.
You know it.
Drop your location, drop your location, drop your
I know
location.
it.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Hey, if it's your first time in a live stream, drop a 1 in the chat. It's going to be a little different than typical live streams. Typical live streams, we open with some crowd interaction. We open with some back and forth, and then we get into a bunch of different topics. So we hit a plethora of topics. If you didn't know, there's 3 different channels here. My main channel, which you're watching this on, Bless God Studios channel, which is at like 258,000 subs, and then the Mastermind My Business, our smallest channel. So if you're new here, welcome. Shout out to my guy Radar Apologetics in the house. Caitlin Howes, first time here. Delena, Josh, Earth Variety, Luis Frazier. Appreciate you guys tuning in. First time in a live chat with me. So thank you for being here. Zach's gonna hop on, I think, in a second. Appreciate you guys being here. So yeah, 600,000 subscribers, which is incredible. We've grown by over 100,000 subscribers. I want to say 120,000 subscribers just this year alone, and that's phenomenal. So shout out to all the new people that are subscribing. Shout out to all you day ones that have been here since forever. Some of you guys been here since 2019, 2020, when I was still doing music reviews. Back in the day, that's what really got like the Patreon going. Shout out to those of you guys that have been here since I was crashing out in different conversations with different people, which I don't do anymore. Don't crash out. Really I was crashing out, bro. Shout out to AD Robles. That was a crash out moment on his channel. Don't do that no more. I've grown. All right. We got Zach Sprazzo in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He's putting on his in-ears with his amazing Levi's shirt. You look good, man.
Thank you.
Nice shirt.
Bad. This is a donation from a great friend.
A donation.
My denim plug.
Donation?
Yeah, you're my.
I don't think donations come with tags still on them. It's a gift. It's called a gift.
Oh, okay.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
50,000. Yeah, AJ been here since Fan Love Friday. That's right. That was 2018, 2019, huh?
I said, write it off.
Write it off. Oh yeah, I'm definitely writing it off. Congratulations. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so here is one lesson that I'm going to give you guys on what I've learned getting to 600,000 subscribers. One lesson. You guys ready? It's not about the number of subscribers. I know. It's like, oh, cool for you to say that, Ruslan.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. You're going to play fake humble. Here's the thing. The number of subscribers is just a number on the screen that doesn't actually measure the impact and if the mission is working. It's just a number.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that have less subscribers that make more impact. There are, by impact, I just mean like giving people wisdom that moves the needle in their life for transformation.
Yeah.
Right? There's people with less subscribers that make more impact. There's people with more subscribers that make less impact. So it's not about the number on the screen. It really isn't. When I was trying to get my music stuff off the ground, I had gotten some stuff popping with a boutique label that did really well in 2016, and then all that collapsed and fell apart, unfortunately. And I was trying to like rebound and rebuild, and I was so consumed with like how many Instagram followers I had. Like I would check it all the time.
I remember that.
I would go in and I'd use these apps to see who I was following that unfollowed me to unfollow them.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was like really not healthy.
It was also telling of the time. It was that time on social media. I would say, even to your point, now more than ever, the followers don't matter and the things don't matter. I mean, even to what you were saying, like for sure, that's super unhealthy.
Yeah.
But even now more than ever with like shorts and all this stuff, it's like, can you even trust that?
Yes.
This shorts is like the new version of like buying subscribers almost. It's like, can you even trust that you?
Shorts is a new version of buying
you know,
subscribers.
it really is.
That's
So it's like now more than ever, it's like you can have a lot of subscribers, but if you're not actually adding value and you're not actually like speaking to a felt need, then you can literally be getting 1,000 views a video.
Yeah. So the need here, this is what I believe, is that the need here is, in my opinion, after people have an encounter with a supernatural God, they need wisdom and guidance to live a supernatural life in a super practical way, a life that blesses God. That's what we're trying to impart here, right? Now, we do that through a variety of ways. We do that through reaction videos about stuff you guys care about topics that are happening, stuff that's trending in the news, crazy things that are being said. So that's like top of funnel. Another thing we do is we do interviews. We interview interesting people that you guys may not know. Sometimes you know them, sometimes you don't know them, that we find interesting. We find interesting stories. But the goal at the bottom of the entire funnel, the point is to try and move people into living a super practical life that blesses God. That's the vision. And we're slowly starting to get better at refining, communicating that vision, refining how we're executing that vision. Everything from our leadership journal to our prayer journal, leadership planner, prayer journals. I'm working on a devotional. I have a book coming out. We have all kinds of cool stuff that we're working on. But the point in all of that is that the biggest advice I can give to anybody trying to get anything off the ground, right? If you're actually trying to impact people for the good, you're trying to move the needle, right? In whatever arena you're doing. The one major takeaway that I have is this: don't consume yourself with the outward metrics, the goals, the numbers, the things that are surface level. Consume yourself with falling in love with the process to get people to where you want them to go. That is the bread and butter. You can hack algorithms. You can buy followers. You can get followers that only watch short. You could do all the things, and none of those things actually move the needle. And a lot of those things, you're at the mercy of a robot. Like you're at the mercy of someone else. And so I think the more, like I have a unhealthy way to overconsume myself with those things if I'm not careful. And the more I don't look at the numbers, the better I tend to create and think to help. Right?
Yeah, that's great.
Even this past month, or the past 6 weeks, this time of year, we hit a summer slump.
Yep.
People go on vacation. People's schedules change, the weather changes, folks want to go outside. Praise God. Like that's amazing things.
Those are all great things.
Great things.
I would rather them do that than watch YouTube videos.
I would rather them do that than watch YouTube videos, right? So when we see that, and then our numbers take a dip, and then there's like a panic inside of me because, oh snap, like we might not make payroll, we might not hit these financial numbers. That doesn't help anything. Like hyper obsessing about numbers doesn't help anything. What helps stuff is to be in tuned with the process of creating great stuff that helps people.
Yep.
And making a lot of it as often as frequently as we can.
Yep.
And the more we get better at that, the more we make that, the more the needle moves. And then the other stuff comes in.
The interesting thing about the summer slump is that it's almost like it's like a numbers detox. Like you're faced with the reality that you can create an amazing video and it still might just not do a lot of numbers because it's the time of year. And so then you're forced to be like, okay, well, do I stop making videos? Do I make a lot more videos? Do I make, and then you just, it's like, it does force us to be like, okay. And sitting in this space of like, let's just continue to make amazing videos. So when people come back to them in a month from now, because they're catching up on all the stuff they missed, that they're just as good as all the other stuff that they were watching previously. Yeah. But then it forces you to be like, to focus in on like, okay, cool. The likelihood that this is gonna pop off like it was when we're not in like the summer slump is very low, but I'm gonna focus on making something that's still helping someone immensely. Yeah,
and it does us good to like, we know the kind of videos we can make to just get views. True. But when the views are off, when like it's just not. And by the way, this is not just us. Like every creator is experiencing this right now. When that's taken or slowed down, then you got to get back to like mission and vision. And like, why do we ultimately do this? Because
let's post some podcasts.
Yeah, like it's not to just drive numbers up and like get our ad. That's not even a good sustainable business model.
It's not. Like it can be turned off in a month.
Or you can just be deplatformed. Yeah. Forget that it's turned off. Like it could just be done. Like you could just be like YouTube, like just press the button on you, right? Yeah. So it's not a sustainable business model. It's not healthy to do that. And so my advice to people that are trying to do anything is, like, figure out what you want to do and where you want to land and what the point is of the mission and vision. Figure out where you would like to be in a dream case scenario, and then reverse engineer and figure out the systems to do the things every single day, the non-negotiables every single day, the inputs, and eventually the outputs will come. If you do the inputs long enough, eventually the outputs will come, right? Shout out CP, he said, be Christian is the cheat code. A lot of this is. Like it's so much easier when you're a Christian because you're driven by something higher than just the number on the scoreboard, right? And so I tell people this is simple but not easy, right? Most of these things are simple but not easy. It doesn't take a lot of work to figure out the things you're probably good at that you should be doing more of that are simple, or the things you need to the skill sets that you need to, and the deficit of the skill sets that you need to fill, or the skill stacking, this talent stacking, things you already have that you need to add on top of. But that simple but not easy concept like offends people because they're like, it's not simple. It's like, yes, it is. Like most things in life that you want to see move and to be glorified onto the glory of God, like are not that complicated. Like nutrition is not that complicated. Fitness is not that complicated. Marriage is not that complicated. Finances are not that complicated.
But it's not easy. Yeah.
It's all hard.
Yeah.
All of those things are hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like all those things are hard. And so I'm grateful for the folks here that rock out. I'm grateful for folks here that like really get it. And I'm committed to doing a better job of communicating what is the it. Sometimes we don't communicate the it. And all the cool things that are in motion for you guys that I'm excited about is, I think the next year, like where I'm like, okay, this is where things are really going to level off. Like the devotional idea, the 3-day summit that's coming up on
Ruslan.
Whoops. The 3-day summit that's coming up at the end of January.
The community platform.
The book that I just submitted the rough draft for. I think there's so many cool things in a pipeline that I'm like really ecstatic for. And the numbers are just a byproduct. People are like, what are you going to do when you crack 1 million subscribers? We may not crack 1 million subscribers, by the way. Like that may not happen. Like there's a lot of folks on here that will hit a ceiling, and that's it.
Or you hit 1 million subscribers, but you're still getting the same amount of views.
Right.
Doesn't mean that the same people, the first 600,000 are gonna be the same 600,000 watching later. And so that's like, if you have an expectation at 1 million that it's gonna be different than what it is now, then you're letting yourself get let down in the future. Right.
But even the idea of like, when you hit it, like we may not hit 1 million subscribers. Totally. There's creators that I watch. The Metatron is a creator I watch frequently. He does like history stuff. He's a Christian too, and he's been at like 800,000-900,000 subscribers for a minute. I remember one point Abba and Preach were like stuck at like 1.5, just right there, and it didn't move. So there's creators that will hit a certain threshold because perhaps they are the niche, and that there's nothing beyond that. Yeah, like they've capped out the number of people that are history buffs who are also who also like his style of videos, and his personality. Yeah, hear me loud and clear. I'm okay with that. Yeah, because I don't think that does that measure impact. That doesn't measure impact, right? So if we hit a wall and it's like, yo, there's only so many people that want to hear information about living a life that blesses God through practical means, in creating your days in daily non-negotiable systems anchored on the gospel of Jesus and bringing glory to God. That could, with my personality and the style of content we do, that may hit a ceiling, and it's not just going to be infinite growth. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm so okay with that.
Then the creativity and the goal is no longer, not that it is, but it gets completely removed from a metric or a number, and it gets a goal of like, oh, what's another really cool devotional we can spend the next few months making, and what's a new event? Where's a new city we can go to? Right. What's a new system that we can actually track, like people going through a process that's measurable, and now they're like, oh wow, I've lost 50 pounds, and I'm in my local church, and I'm serving, and I'm doing these things. Yes. And so like, because you could be stuck with the same 600,000 people, but still do things that fire you up. It's not like, oh, I'm just stuck here in the abyss forever. You know what I'm saying? Of like, oh, this is it. It's like, there's so many other cool things that could be happening with what God has given you at this moment.
Yeah. CP said Metatron got shadow banned because of his anti-LGBT vids. I didn't even think his vids were that wild.
I'm saying
by the way, for the record, those of you guys are like, why don't you go harder against, right? This is why we put all that stuff on the Blessed God Studios channel. Yeah,
that channel.
If you didn't know, like they can ether that channel. That channel is not verified. There's no check mark on it. That, like, I don't care to get a check mark on it. So we put all that stuff over there. Right. And then the business channel was like straight business conversation.
You guys don't like hearing about money. Yeah. Not you guys. You guys probably do.
Yeah. The main channel and that channel don't like hearing about money. Yeah. And so there's a reason. And I learned that from David Wood, CP, like spread it out. Because
you're not, it's not like you're going to not talk about it.
Right.
You just got to have another outlet.
You got to have a strategy. You got to have a strategy. If the goal is to build this channel as big as it can possibly be, I'm still going to talk about these things. So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to take a moment, pause. Thank you guys. Awesome. Celebrate. We don't celebrate enough, like different milestones. Like, it's just kind of like, they're just, you get numb to all this.
We should all get Blessed God tattoos.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, because I know a lot of people that
know people that do that.
That got 116 tattoos, and that did not age well.
Oh, never.
I know people that got indie tribe tattoos that did not age well.
Oh man, never great.
Yeah, you probably should start a separate Christian channel, CP. Shout out to Paul and Morgan. Big congrats, bro. Well deserved. Thank you. When is our video coming out, Paul and Morgan? You supposed to send me a rough cut. When is that coming out? I didn't know Bars and Beats is only 18.
I'm 18. Wow, I feel like he's been commenting for like 15 years.
Bro, you've been showing love forever.
he's been here since he was like 4 years old.
He's been here forever, and he shares all our stuff. No, I didn't say 116 tattoos aren't terrible. I said they didn't. I know people that got them that they didn't age well.
Like age well, not as in like they got wrinkly. We're saying age well as in they no longer like 116. Yes. They left the faith.
Yes.
They don't like. There's all these things that are like, oh man.
Yes. Does that make sense? I'm not saying they aren't. I'm not saying they're terrible. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is our studio is going to do music as to why you call it studios? I have a love and hate relationship with music. Listen, this is what I learned about music. If I'm honest with you guys, when I approach music with the same mentality that we've been doing YouTube, I think I'll be fine. I have the most unhealthy expectations for music.
Yeah, like it needs to smash.
All my contemporaries in music make really good music.
Yeah.
And they're really smart on social media.
And they're crushing.
And they're really good.
It shows up in the numbers.
And it reflects. So like I'm with Hovey last night, and we're talking about Forrest Frank, and we're talking about all the stuff they've done, and just him hacking, being signed to Reach for a number of years, and it's the song that Reach didn't want to get behind that takes off with Forrest Frank, and is about to go gold. And like I'm just sitting there, and then I'm watching his set, and he's good. Like these guys are so good.
Yeah.
And so like I gotta approach music where like I don't want to compete. Like the point isn't to compete.
Yeah.
But hip hop is
competition.
It is competitive. It is competitive. And so it's like there are people who wow, shout out to JB. He said he's been here since 25,000 subs. My man, thank you, bro. There are
been here longer
people.
than I've been
This
here.
man said do Afro beats. Stop it, bro. Stop it. There are people that are exceptional at doing one thing and one thing only. LeBron James is exceptional at doing basketball for the past 20 years, and then he did Space Jam.
Yeah.
But he's exceptional at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There are rappers. Sorry, I'm just ranting at this point.
Yeah.
There are rappers who all they obsess about is rap, and then like the thing that aligns with that is like making a good song and then like doing a good show. Kendrick is one of those rappers. So like listening to Kendrick and listening to a record like Not Like Us, where he has like another massive record. Remove the I don't like the angle of like I'm a better moral man than you, Drake. Ha ha ha. But the obsession he's had for the past 20 years to just be the best rapper he could possibly be, and then make the best songs he could possibly make, and then make the best shows he could possibly make. That is a degree of obsession that I don't think that I was ever built for, because I just have other things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Now parallel that to YouTube. There are people that like all they want to do is just make the best YouTube videos. They don't care to interview people. They don't care to do events. They don't care to sell products. They don't care, right? They just want to make the very best YouTube videos.
And they'll put one out a month.
Yeah. Right? And so I think like when all these things, the objective, shout out to Poet Gamer, said, what's the difference between obsession versus healthy ambition when they look the same? Is I actually don't think they look the same. This is my opinion. Is I think if the objective is impact and not me being the man. Like Kendrick has a thing where he wants to be. I'm not trying to like, this isn't a video about Kendrick bad. That's not the point.
Kendrick on the thumbnail, Samaje.
Yeah. Kendrick has a thing about he wants to be the guy. Yeah. He wants to be the best at one thing. And then the second thing is like I want to make the very best rap music.
Yeah.
And then I want to put on the best rap shows. And that is why he does that. And then he has the right team around him that allows him to just think about that. And he's had the right opportunities and the right timing and fill in the blank. When the objective is, I want to make the most impact. And then I will be good at a number of things I need to be good at to make the most impact. I don't think Kendrick's out here trying to change lives.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I don't think Kendrick's trying to change people's lives and help people go from being dysfunctional to functional to flourishing.
No.
That is not his mission and vision.
No.
But when someone is trying to make changes, I want to change how the Christian community is represented in the West. Like, that's a big feat. Like, when people meet Christians, they're like, yo, you guys love your wives. You're functional families. Your kids love you.
Yeah.
You're financially stable. You're not in debt. Like, that's such a big feat to take on, right? And so I think if the objective is, if you're trying to actually have an impact, that healthy ambition does actually look different. I have to be good at a variety of things, right? I have to be good at a variety of things. And so if someone wants to make an impact, they're not just going to hyper obsess about one thing. They're going to, so today, here's an example. So let's just fast forward. Kendrick starts 20 years ago.
Yep.
Fast forward, who's the guy starting today? Kendrick's closer to my age. The people starting today, if they want to make an impact, they have to learn social media. So the Hovies and the Forrest Franks understand social media. Jake's know social media. So you got to know social media. That's a totally different skill set than writing a good rap
Yeah.
and making a good song. Way different skill set. If you want to make a bigger impact, you have to understand social media. You have to understand how to mix your own music at some point. You have to understand how to genuinely connect with people through a phone. Like, that's a crazy thing to think about, to connect with people through a phone. So all of these things connected today, now the measurement is bigger impact. Because I don't think today you can just be the best rapper ever. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
There is no, I just want to be the best singer ever. That ship has sailed.
Yeah. You can't just be good.
You can't just be good at just singing or just talk. Like, you have to have the ability of talent stacking. So you think of Jake. Jake, I had the privilege of meeting his family. Beautiful family. I'm not going to give away too many details, but amazing family. Jake's mom is a piano teacher. There's a technical skill of learning piano at 3 years old. Jake is in a Christian home. There's love, there's stability, but there's also a call to something more. Jake understands social media. Jake has a brother that writes great songs, Zach. So now you got technical ability to make music, piano, that's a technical skill.
Yep.
In an environment that loves you, but challenges you to more. This is like why, I'm not trying to hypergeneralize. This is like why immigrant families are successful. This is why like Indians actually control the vast majority of the income in America. And it's not control, but earn the highest incomes. Because there's a love, but I want more for you, right? So there's that going on. Then there's the brotherhood of someone that can help you write songs. And then there's the other stuff of like wanting to hack away on social media to make an impact. That's a very different skill set than what Kendrick has.
Yeah.
Right? So you think about these things and you go, man, that's
a lot.
That's fire. That's a lot. That's different than just like, I just want to be really, 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 really good at singing.
Yep.
I just really want to be really, really good at writing songs. That's a combination of things. And so then you get the results that a Jake has, you know? And then the team comes along. So I hear you, CP. You need to know, but you also need a team. Kendrick, PG Lang, and the issue is that Kendrick was obsessed, and then the team came around him. Then he met Dave Free. Then he had the folks come around him to help him. Then the team scaled. Then other people got involved. So even Dave Free and the people running PG Lang, like Dave Free is not emailing people. He's not sending cold emails out.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff early is. But back in Kendrick's day, hey, how do we get in good with 2 Dope Boys? And how do we make a relationship over there? Like, that requires grunt work. That requires someone doing the cold emails or going to the thing to meet the person, to get the meeting, to hear the music, to hopefully get on 2 Dope Boys. I'm talking about a totally different era. So when you consider all these things, the question about healthy ambition, I think healthy ambition looks like talent stacking for the objective of impact. And I think that has way less to do with obsessing about numbers and status and looks, and way more to do about what are the things required to make the most amount of impact. And that just looks different in today's climate, right? Do you plan to have more rappers on the channel soon? Yes, I do.
Bless God Studios, Nate Rose podcast.
Yeah, Nate Rose podcast. Shout out to Nate Rose.
Sunday.
Nate Rose. I almost closed him on Jesus in real time.
Yep.
So I say all that to say, I have certain skill set deficits I'm still learning. Right now, we're learning how to create our own supply chains. So we're cutting out the middleman to get better product to you guys at a cheaper price, because we want to have stuff that everyone could afford, right? So that's a skill set I'm learning in real time.
Without sacrificing quality.
Without sacrificing quality. I'm learning that. We just had samples come in from a different manufacturer. They sucked.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm learning how to communicate with people in other countries. That's a skill set. That's a different skill set I have to learn as an entrepreneur. So all of these different things are talent stacking on top of each other. And I don't want to be the Mr. Beast of Christian YouTube. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to be a guy that can communicate clearly, effectively, that can tell stories and inspire people, tell my own story, tell other people's stories, that can create product that helps people transform an area of their life, and that can learn how to manufacture product and then put together live events that create incubators for life transformation. Because there's only so much transformation that can happen over a YouTube video, but there's something different when you come into a building and that moment hits you. You know what I'm saying? Last night, I was at the Hovey event, and it was such a surreal event. And you guys are going to think I'm such a sissy. CP is going to call me a soy boy for this. I was at this event, and I had my 9-year-old with me. And I didn't know what I was going to. Hovey's like, pull up. I'm like, I'm gonna pull up, take you out to dinner.
Yeah, I've been Christian rap shows.
Yeah. So I pull up, we're hanging out backstage. My son is with me, and Pastor Miles comes out. I made my first public profession at a Miles McPherson crusade 22 years ago. Almost to the date, actually. Almost to the date. 22 years ago, I made my first public, like I came forward for an altar call for the very first time. I put my hand up. You know, you put your hand up and you kind of say this prayer. Like, no, I like my first public profession. I came down to Miles Ahead Crusade. It was called the Coors Amphitheater. I don't know what it's called anymore. It's in Chula Vista. So, I see Pastor Miles. He's excited to see me. We actually got to have him back on the channel. I love that dude. So I was telling him, I was like, he's like, oh, I've never been on your channel. I was like, yes, you have. Like, you've been on my channel. This is when we did it. We did it in this room. So anyway, we're having this conversation. And he goes, and I'm like, hey, when are you going to bring back the Miles Ahead Crusades? You know, I gave my life, like my first public profession was at a Miles Ahead Crusade. And he's like, well, this is kind of the iteration of that. And I was like, this? And he's like, yeah, we're doing this event in the middle of a summer camp. And all these kids are here. And then this is like the thing they can bring all their friends to.
Whoa. So
they have Hovey, they have Elevation Worship, which we didn't really stay for. They got like 10 Elevation Worships. They're like the New Hillsong. I mean, we saw some of the set. So I am with Levi. We're watching Hovey, who put on a stellar show, by the way. And we go out to the crowd for the last couple songs. We stood on the side of the stage, and I'm just like, yo, this doesn't sound good, Levi. Like, let's go out and actually hear this. And Levi's just like mesmerized. Like, he's like, he loves Hovey's music. Hovey's there.
Yeah.
He's backstage in his green room on the side of the stage. Like, he's getting such a cool experience as a kid. He doesn't remember any of the shows we used to do. So this is all like,
what a trip.
Cool
That's
for
actually
him, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, because we used to do a lot of like House of Blues stuff that he was around for, right? So then we go out, and then Hovey's last song is "You Came to Set Us Free. I am no longer." And I'm sitting there, and I have this like surreal moment of like, yo, I'm here with my 9-year-old. 22 years ago to the date, I made my public profession of faith at a version of this event. Same team, same person putting it on with the same heart and the same vision. And I like choked up and teared up. Like started like, it was such a wild moment, bro.
Levi raises his hand.
And Levi's singing a song.
Oh, that's amazing.
Levi's singing Hovey's song with me. And oh man, that moment, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. It just hit me like the full circle moment of like, wow, we're here and I'm with my child.
It's not nothing.
And the guy who had me come forward for the very first time knows me and is friendly with me and is excited for what God's doing in my life.
Yeah.
And that can't be done through a YouTube video. Like, we can't create that moment for people through a YouTube video. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that can't be done through like a very inspirational talk with the motivational music underneath.
Chris, throw some music on this.
And B-roll, right? Like, that can't be done.
Yeah.
Right? It's just not the same. And so I'm trying to think of ways, and whether I'm the one on stage rapping or not, like, I don't care, but that's what we're thinking of things of, like the Bless God Summit. Like I got Indie Tribe confirmed.
You did.
To have their own night at the Bless God Summit.
Let's go.
Right? So that's no big deal. John Keith. This is actually the first like public thing I've said about someone's confirmed.
That is.
Indie Tribe, John Keith, no big deal. Mike Kelvey, Tori Deshawn. And so I'm trying to think of like, how do we create environments where a lot of who we're talking to are really Christians already, but how can we create environments where we figure out ways to get people in the building that maybe aren't Christians or new Christians or they're skeptical, or sponsoring young adults that maybe can't afford. Like, that's what I'm trying to think about. You know what I mean? Because I think there's nothing like an in-person live event and then plugging people into some sort of like system. Like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that like, we got to create like a network of churches.
Like a little curriculum or something.
Yeah, and I remember Miles' message that day. Like, Miles' messages that day was like, if you gave your life to Jesus, get in the Bible, and he had a devotional book for people. And it was like, yo, the first 21 days of people, the first 21 days of your life, that's when you go the easiest to form of habit, the first 21 days. And then after that, it becomes easier to do the thing, right? And then 90 days, it becomes a part of your identity. And I was like, man, I wonder if we could have some sort of like 21-day leaked out email that like if someone here is like, hey, I don't know where to start, and we take people through the gospel and the narrative of the Bible in 21 days.
Yeah.
And then it leaks out every single day. And then maybe that's something we give to people. You know, I just think about things like that and like, how can we better equip people to give them a place where they can come and be impacted in a personal way with like, hey, I went and I heard this one tidbit. I went to this event, I heard this one tidbit, and I actually applied this tidbit, and this changed my marriage. I went to this event and I heard this one thing, and it transformed my health. This changed my finances. This changed my business. This changed my career. This changed my job. And so that's like, I'm approaching the Bless God Summit like that, and I think that we're gonna figure it out. And so anyway, the practical step for you guys is go to blessgodsummit.com. It's happening January 30th, 31st, February 1st, and be the first to hear about the discount tickets and the full lineup when it goes live. That's going to happen within hopefully 2 weeks. We're going up, and so next week's going to be even shorter because we're going up Monday to confirm the venue, hopefully, with Tyler.
All right, cool.
So we're going to confirm that, and then we're going to announce the lineup. And we got a pretty stellar amount of people that have given me soft yeses.
Dope.
And I just think about that and how we can kind of like really equip people for stuff like that. So anyway, all right, we got to wrap up because we're going to Chosen tonight, Dallas, to be on the Chosen set tomorrow. Let me hit some of your guys' super chats before I forget. It's Just Be. Oh, that's from earlier. Mitchell Best said, thoughts on Christian YouTubers such as Laura Lodge and Wendy Goon, who work for non-Christian YouTubers like Moist Critical. They also do the weird Bible project with non-Christian creators. Hold on. I don't know who these people are. Work with? Like, as in, they work on their teams? I don't know who these folks are, respectfully. Thoughts on Christian YouTubers such as Laura Lodge and Wendy Goon. Looks like I got some research to do. Who work with non-Christian YouTubers like Moist Critical. They also do the weird Bible podcast with non-Christian. That's awesome. Praise God for that. I don't know. That's not an endorsement. I don't know what these people believe or who they are, really. I literally don't know. But I watch Moist Critical videos. He's an interesting creator. If they're working in the spaces with non-Christians, that's a massive W. That's a huge W. So yeah, I think that's awesome. I think we need to be in the mix. There is a YouTube culture of like Moist Critical, Philip DeFranco. I'd say Abba and Preach is there now. That I think the more relationships and the more impact we can have, like I think that's awesome. Charlotte, Ruslan, I loved your advice on George Yanko's podcast. Do you have any advice for dating Christians? Yes, set healthy boundaries. Boundaries in Dating is a great book. I highly recommend for everybody. So I would read Boundaries in Dating. Me and my wife read it. And I think you should read that. I think you should, this is going to sound weird. I think the best thing for dating Christians you can do is have healthy, autonomous, separate lives. And specifically for the dude, like, and I guess the woman too, if you're younger, so that you can create ways to financially sustain yourself. Because I think dating Christians for long periods of time is setting yourself up for failure. This is what I mean. If like me and my wife dated for 4 years, 2 years too long. Okay, if you're in a place where like I want to date, great. Go figure out what you need to do to get married, because you Netflixing and chilling and forking and spooning, you're setting yourself up to be sexually immoral, which is going to damage your relationship. You're going to feel ashamed. You're not going to be sure if you should stay together after you sleep together or after you do other stuff. So my best advice for Christian dating people, and I'm not a dating expert or advice I don't even like trying to give advice on stuff like that. I'm just telling you from my perspective. Yes, that's a good point. Date with the expectation to marry, not long-term date. Amen to that, humble table. But in that, like, the practical step there is build autonomous lives where you guys have your own circles of friends, you have times apart, you have jobs and careers and things you're working towards, so that you don't hit the honeymoon phase before the honeymoon. Don't hit the honeymoon phase before the honeymoon. Because when you hit the honeymoon phase, I just want to be together all the time. I just want to spend all my time with this person. Something's going down. Someone's gonna smash. Someone's gonna cross boundaries. Someone's gonna slip up. Someone's gonna have a boner and have an accident in their pants. Like, something is gonna go down. You're gonna feel like a goober. So don't do that. Don't hit the honeymoon before the honeymoon. Build lives separate, so there's separation and there's boundaries, and come together, hang out, and then go separate back to whatever your friends and your circles and your hobbies and the things that you do, and then come and hang out, and then go separate, and then come and hang out, and then go be separate. Hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, hanging out with church family, hanging out in ministry settings, awesome. Because I think what happens is your natural inclination when you fall in love with someone is to jump right into that honeymoon phase where you spend all your time together, and then you're likely just to have a irregular balance. And I'm saying this like this is what happened. Right? That, like, had someone told me this, perhaps I would have been a bit more tapped into, like, all right, cool, I'm 19, I met my wife, I want to marry her. What do I need to do to get to a place where I can marry her within the next 24 months? And for me, that deficit was skills and income. I think my wife would have married me earlier, which would have prevented some issues for us, a lot of issues for us, honestly, had I been trained by other men on how to earn. It was a different time back then too, though, to be fair. Like, it wasn't, you weren't able to maneuver as easily to hustle, or at least I didn't know how to. You know what I mean? So I think move towards don't burn with passion and lust. Like, move towards, how do I get married as quickly as possible? And are you stable? Are you healthy? Are you healed? Right? Shout out to CP. He said, my advice is get therapy before dating. Yeah, especially if you have trauma. And that's a great point there, CP, because some people got some real issues and we don't know how bad it is. Other people came from great households. And I believe if you came from a great household, your parents should be equipping you. By a great household, I mean your parents love Jesus. They're together. They've trained you how to provide and earn and channel your issues. So my advice is, like, yes, make sure you're whole and healed, and then get to building a life. Like, get to it. And you don't have to finish school before you get married, but college. You don't have to finish college before you get married. You don't have to do these things before you get married, right? Like, go, and you don't have to get married right away if you're not burning with passion. But I was burning with passion, and I had a deficit of skills and income, and no one walked me through this, and I wish I would have gotten married 2 years sooner, honestly. And I feel like had I shown myself competent and able to provide for my wife, like, hey, back then, let's just say back then I would have needed to earn $2,000 a month. Rent was way cheaper, to have my own place, to cover my own bills. Had that been the objective of, like, hey, I'm going to figure out a way to make $2,000 a month while I'm finishing school, I feel like my wife would have married me earlier, right? But the issue is I was such a mess and I didn't understand any of this stuff I know now. And so that's my advice for married people. Take it or leave it. Everyone's situation is different. That is very generalized advice, but that's, like, most of my advice is talking to the version of myself from 20 years ago. Right? That's how I'm processing it. So CP is going to tell me it's really hard to find a wife, and it's so hard and so different. The world is different. That's all fair and reasonable. There's online dating and all these issues. All that's fair. Okay. But I'm talking to the version of myself from 20 years ago. If I've met someone that I'm dating, that I love, that I can see spending the rest of my life with, I'm not trying to spend all my time with her, because that is probably going to hurt the relationship. I'm trying to figure out, how do I get the relationship to the next level? And usually that has to do with, how do you build a life where you can provide for someone or get to that place? And so, like, if they want to finish school, that means I got to work my face off and finish school, right? So anyway, I appreciate you guys. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much. Hey, pray for us. We're about to go to Dallas for The Chosen. Say a prayer for us, and we will be back sometime next week. All right. Love you guys. Peace.